Welcome to the session Simplify Cloud Provisioning and Resource Management with the AWS Service Management Connector for Jira Service Desk. My name is Masanya Scott. My colleague Brian Terry and I will give you a quick overview, demo, and call to action during this session. We have 16 management and governance services in our console, including CloudWatch, Config, Service Catalog, and Systems Manager. Now, why is this relevant? As our customers grow in the use of AWS, these services become critical in establishing the right level of control over their environment without slowing down innovation. Governance is woven into all three aspects of enablement, provisioning, and operations. And we have a full suite of services to help you build a foundation for end-to-end lifecycle management and control. So we've listened to our customers' feedback that they have too many operational tools, multiple owners, and limited resources and time to establish the right balance between agility and innovation. Thus today, we introduce the AWS Service Management Connector for Jira Service Desk, formerly the AWS Service Catalog Connector. This connector allows Jira Service Desk end users to provision, manage, and operate AWS resources natively via Jira Service Desk. JSD admins can provide pre-approved, secured, and governed AWS resources to end users via Service Catalog. You have the ability to execute automation playbooks via AWS Systems Manager, as well as track resources in a configuration item view powered by AWS Config seamlessly. This simplifies AWS product request actions for JSD users and provides governance and oversight over AWS products within Jira Service Desk. The AWS Supply Connector is available at no charge in the Atlassian marketplace. Now, key benefits for this connector are agility, security, as well as the ability to streamline provisioning, resource transparency, and automation and familiar tools such as the Jira Service Desk software. This connector enables native integration between Service Catalog, Config, and Systems Manager that is managed and supported by AWS. It is also important to note this connector supports the Jira Service Desk server and data center versions. Now I will turn it over to Brian Terry, who will demo an IT lifecycle management use case that is available with the connector.
That was a great introduction, Sonia. Thank you. I will be highlighting the features of the AWS Management Connector for Jira Service Desk. First, let's spend a few minutes by taking a 10,000-foot view of the architecture. As you can see from the diagram, an end user requests an S3 bucket through the connector by opening an issue. The request is forwarded to an approver. Once the approver has reviewed and approved the request, the resource is provisioned in the company's AWS account. The provision resource details are sent back to Jira Service Desk and are viewable in the console. Additionally, the details are attached to the end user's original request. In this scenario, the S3 bucket will be created with public access, violating the company's policy on S3 buckets. The violation is detected by AWS Config and marked as non-compliant. An AWS rule triggers an automation doc that opens an issue inside Jira Service Desk, which provides information about the problem and suggests possible remediation steps. Finally, a Jira Service Desk administrator views the issue and executes an automation doc based on the proposed remediation to fix the issue. Now let's take a quick look at the demo. First, I will begin by creating a Jira Service Desk issue. For the summary, I will select my storage bucket. For the item being provisioned, I will select S3 bucket, and you will notice that I can also supply my own tags to this resource. Next, I will hit Create. Once the issue is created, I'm able to view the details. Okay, let's take a quick look at the request. You will notice that this request is waiting on approval. In this demo, I will just approve the request. But in some organizations, you may have different requirements. So let's take a quick look at the workflow that is applied to this request. As you can see, it's a very simple request. It is created and is set into a waiting status, and then the approver can either approve or deny the request. Now let's take a deeper look at this request. You will notice that even though the product is under provision, we're able to see this configuration details. This is reported from AWS Config. Within these details, we can see information about it's associated with, contains, and other detailed information about this resource. You will notice also that it will show the past approvals for this request, and it has everything consolidated into one Jira incident ticket. Finally, our resource has been provisioned. Let's take a quick look at the AWS console. Let's start by taking a look at the config console. You will notice that by provisioning the bucket, it has tripped one of our config rules. This config rule monitors public read access on our buckets. So, you will see other information about how often this config rule runs, the ARN of this config rule, and the overall status of this config rule. Now let's jump over to the Jira console and remediate this issue. In our Jira console, an incident has been created, highlighting the misconfigured bucket. And it also suggests a possible automation doc we can run in order to fix the issue. So I'll take the suggestion. I'll put the bucket name in. I can also supply a role if needed. Next, I will hit create. And if we take a deeper look at the issue, we'll see that it's completed and the automation doc ran successfully, fixing the bucket issue. Now, if we take a quick look at our AWS config console, we'll notice that the issue has been remediated and our environment is currently compliant. So now I'll hand it over to my Sonia for a quick wrap-up.
Thank you, Brian, for demonstrating a practical use case for IT lifecycle management. The outcomes of enabling the AWS Service Management Connector for JSD are establishing consistent delivery patterns, improving operational efficiency, enabling self-service, and most of all, enhancing customer satisfaction by giving end users the ability to request, view, and manage AWS products within a familiar tool, Jira Service Desk. Now it's time to take a bias for action. We would like for you to download the AWS Service Management Connector available in the Atlassian marketplace today. Provide us feedback. We are obsessed with designing features that are important to you. If you are interested in learning more about the Connector Jumpstart program that gives you access to individual proof of concept enablement and direct feedback, email us at AWS-SM-Jira Service Desk at Amazon.com. Brian and I thank you for taking time to review the AWS Service Management Connector for Jira Service Desk. We hope you enjoy the rest of the Atlassian Remote Summit 2020. Thank you.